if y'all are trying to see how I made this wig, just continue watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay, so first I'm taking this Gotta Be glue and I'm spraying it across my closure to get like the little flyaways so they won't get bleached in the process. So next I'm taking some bleach just to bleach my knots so it can look natural. So I'm just taking a few scoops, and really with the liquid I'm just like eyeballing it until it gets like the right consistency. So once I got the knots all bleached, I let this sit for about like 30 minutes or until they start turning brown. So I just flip it on some foil until it's ready. And I just check to make sure, you know, it didn't seep all the way through to the hair. Excuse my crusty nails, but I'm just showing y'all how, you know, start my sewing machine. But I know each sewing machine is different, you know. But this is just how mine is. And I have a brother's sewing machine, and I'll put that in the description box below. Okay, so once it's done sitting for like about 30 minutes, I'll go ahead and rinse it off with like some cold water. Then I take some, I call it just purple shampoo, just so it won't look all brassy looking. So just take the Shimmer Lights. It's just toner shampoo. And I just wash the back of it with the Shimmer Lights, and I do it twice. So the first time I just wash it, you know, straight through. Then the second time I just let it sit for like 5 minutes. Then I wash it out. What it should look like when it's finished. So the next step, what I do is I pin it to my mannequin head, and I pin it there so I can go ahead and pluck it. You can either lay it across a towel, but I feel like it's easier doing it this way. So I just pin it down on all sides and making sure, you know, it's flat, because if you pluck while it's lumped up, you will put a hole in it, and you don't want to do that. Party in the front when you start plucking, because like it leaves like a straight line in the front, and I don't like that. So we're gonna pluck from the front, and all I do is just pluck in different spots 2-3 times, and I move to the next spot until it kind of looks right to me. If you don't have patience, I don't think plucking is for you, because for that little closure, it took me about 30 minutes, probably 35 minutes to pluck the front of that closure. plucking, I'm just gonna go ahead and part the wig down the middle because I know I want a middle part. So once I part it down the middle and get my part the way I want it, you really don't have to pluck the line because once you bleach it, you shouldn't have to pluck the part. So I just go ahead and part it, and I mousse it down with some white rain mousse and just braid it, just to get the hair out the way when I sew it down. Okay, so once I'm done, I'm just gonna go ahead and mark my closure up just so I know my guidelines when it's time for me to sew. So get the cap as flat as you can on your dome head. And you just start making lines. So if you double the tracks, you're going to make the lines further apart. But if you are going to do single tracks, put them closer together. So I'm going to single mine. So I say this about a half an inch apart each line. And I'm just going to do that. They don't have to be perfect straight. But as long as they're not super close together or super far apart, then you should be okay. And again, these lines do not have to be perfect. They're just guidelines to help you so you won't have to constantly put the cap back on the dome head when you're sewing. And when I drew that line, I was kind of iffy because when you put like a straight line up top, most of the times it bubbles, but we'll go back and we'll fix that. I'm just showing you the stitching I use. Zigzag, I say it's 3 or 4, and the one I use is a 6. So, me just trying to show you the different ways you can stitch. While you stitching and sewing with the sewing machine, just make sure you're not sewing the hair on the cap. The tracks on the cap, yeah, but the hair on the cap, no, because you'll have your whole wig tucked inside of the cap. Just making sure you kind of not pulling, but keeping it flat the whole time you're sewing. And don't pull, because if you pull it, then your wig will be all stretched out, and you don't want that. So just putting the track on the line, sewing it on the line. If you see like you sew off, you can back stitch and go back. And yeah, like that, that's back stitching. And you just stitch forward, to correct yourself. Optional. If you cut the track, I feel like it sheds more, or you can fold it over. It's the same method as when you sew by hand. Just when you fold it, just make sure that you stitch over your fold about 2 or 3 times to make sure it's flat. So I just fold it over, and I just make sure I stitch over the fold real good before I keep going. Okay, so when I cut the closure, I just cut a piece of the seam, I would say, just so I can have a more natural look and it won't be like lumped up on my temples, basically. So I just cut a corner of them off on both sides. Or you can actually cut the whole seam off. So what I do, I actually sew the front onto the cap, the net part. I actually sew the net part of the closure on the cap and the seam part on the track. If you can see, I sew the seam on the track and the net on the cap, if that makes sense. So I don't go all the way around. I just do both sides in the front first, then I go all the way around, because you don't want to make a mistake around a room. But it's always easier if you feel like you need to sew the closure on by hand, that's fine. But just know you made room in the beginning for your closure. And if you have extra space, you can always go back and add a track or two in the missing spaces in the back. And once I'm done sewing all the hair and the closure on, I just go ahead and take an elastic band I get, and I'm just gonna sew it on both sides of the closure, and you go ahead and measure it to your head to your liking. stitch, it should look something like this. And you just style it to your liking. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it.